Welcome back. As you know, Curtis is here from Knifelighter, and he's actually going to be playing in Orlando April 3rd with Distinguisher at the Haven. It's a lot, but if you read it all back again, rewind 15 seconds, listen to it, it'll all make sense. How are you today, Curtis?
Good. How are you guys?
Pretty
Awesome,
good.
man.
And then just in case I haven't introduced myself, because we did this pretty fast, I'm Tyler, and to the middle or to my right is Nick. So we're all very familiar with the personally Lake County hardcore metal scene or music scene.
For sure.
I mean, how many times have we seen Wage War at a church? You know,
Yeah.
like that's
And
something that I
empires
still
at a
brag
church
about
and
to this
war
day.
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the church.
War within. Yeah, there are many names they've been.
Yeah, and I'm sure we all got that Star Wars shirt that they put out.
Still have it.
Oh yeah, I wear it to
Yep.
the gym all the time. Yeah.
It's just so many unique Lake County things. But to talk about your band specifically and like having listened to the entire album like forward to back, and I have kind of like lagged out of the genre in recent times. I agree, primo. Honestly, like not trying to blow anything up, but honestly.
No, yeah. When Tyler sent me, I was like, okay, like okay.
But the question
Awesome. I
I'm trying
appreciate
to get at with all of this long, elaborative, long-windedness would be like, how do you go into an album like this is what I'm gonna make? And does it have like an original, like creative version in your mind and then change towards the end where you're like, this is what it was. This is all right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So our creative process is, I don't know how other bands do it, but we just kind of get together and we kind of just riff and play off of each other, and songs kind of just come together. We have a lot of really good chemistry between the group of guys we have.
You're just saying you do this live?
Oh yeah, at practice. We'll just write songs at practice. Uh-huh.
I personally, that is one of the fewer versions of songwriting that I've heard.
Yeah, with
I feel
that's
like
that's
pure,
pretty much been.
though.
Yeah, I like to do it that way, like someone will just start playing and like, oh yeah, keep doing that, and then the drums will start doing something else, and it just kind of eventually just comes together. And then of course in the studio we add more production value to it, but yeah.
I find that pretty impressive just to be able to like workshop things live, because then the other aspect of that I think that there are some metal bands that are so concerned with how they sound in the studio that when you go and hear them out in the wild, it's like, whoa, buddy. Y'all didn't think about any of these sound effects or like drops or like, where's the breakdown? Like, is it just going to happen for 4.5 minutes? No one's going to do that. Some people might do that, but like, it just doesn't seem well fleshed out. And like, I mean, I would be pretty, if I wasn't in Denver, pretty anticipated to go see April 3rd at the Haven. But the next question to that, you had a feature on like your last song. I don't remember off the top of my head like who it was with, but like, how do you get someone that might not necessarily be in your band or like a part of your like creative process to be like, hey, we got a spot for you, like this is yours? Or is it more like, hey, here's 30 seconds, you figure it out like on your own, and then we're just gonna plug it in?
So yeah, for the features with that one we did, our vocalist already had him in mind. And he kind of asked him ahead of time and kind of sent him the lyrics and like the rough drafts of the song we already had, and said like, this is kind of what I want to do. And they kind of spit back and forth and worked on it together.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool. Nick?
So, and I'm gonna have to look at the name of the song because I want to make sure I get this right. But you have there's this like electronic riff that goes into the guitar riff in one of the songs, and I just like, how do you do, like, did it start with the guitar riff or it's a 636?
Yeah.
And it like at the end, like, so do you start with the guitar riff on that, or do you start with the electronic riff and then go into the like, so where like, what's the creative process on that? Because when I heard that like took me out of, like, I was working out obviously too, and I was like, wow, this is something totally different, like very, very different than like the rest of the album, which is very good as well. But that
Agreed.
is just, like, it like pulled me out of what I was doing, and I had to like stop and sit and be like, that's something else.
Yeah.
Me as well. I was listening to it at work and I was just like, hold on.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it actually did start as the guitar riff.
Okay.
We wrote the guitar riff and then kind of formed the song. And then as we were kind of talking about it, we're like, yo, we should intro this song with kind of like a 8-bit video game, old school type of like retro thing. And that's kind of what we were going for with it.
It worked very well. That when I heard that, I was like, I wonder like is it the chicken or it's the chicken or the egg question, you know, like what came first? And that's cool that you started with the riff. I was secretly hoping you started with the riff because the riff is immaculate. Like,
thank you.
But hell yeah, man, that's cool. That's super cool.
And to kind of tag along on to that question, like, do you create that sound effect, or do you in like GarageBand or like some other form, or do you like find something that's almost derivative and then tweak it like sonically or with edits or?
No, we did that in the studio. We did it kind of through the program he was using.
Whew.
Heck yeah.
That's I mean, not someone, me personally, that is very advanced into like recording, because I've tried to use GarageBand. But my brain is not compatible with that. And then like trying to look up tutorials and stuff, like,
oh, there's so many and you just get lost.
Oh, I'm so lost. Like I'm trying, like, sorry to go on a tangent here, but that's kind of my vibe and the show's vibe. But I'll go and like look into something for like OBS or streaming, or like literally just like one small of like, how do I do this? And then it's like, no, it's not that. These people are doing like 8 steps in 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, I don't even have the side.
Slow down.
Please
do that again, but like half the speed.
Yeah. Can I put it on half speed? Like forget the 2 times speed. I need the half speed. Yeah.
Sidetrack to that question. Do you guys listen to podcasts at half speed?
Can you do that?
Yes. In Apple Podcasts, you can. I don't know about Spotify or others, but they typically just sound drunk when they're on halftime.
I'm gonna have to try this now.
Now I have to.
Yeah, now I have to try it.
Yeah, there's some that I've had to listen to at 1.5 times because like they'll put out, say, like an hour's worth of content, but I can't spend an hour listening to their content. So I like 1.5 times. I'll spend 40 minutes listening to you.
Yeah.
That's your appropriate amount of time.
My attention span can last that long.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because they just keep whining and on and on and on. It's like, move on, buddy. Speaking of moving,
kind of insightful, Tyler. Like, what do you?
Yeah, self-fulfilling or whatever the thing is. So I guess like kind of my next question is like, what is forgive me for not like remembering, and like Google is Google, but I know you used to be in other bands, like, and what were the goals of those bands? Like, you don't want to talk crap about anybody, or like your new band, like what's your overall goal to like, you know, where are you seeing it going? Because I feel like as creators, or like, I mean, this is somewhat in the creative realm, like we have a goal, like Nick and I have discussed, where I want to go, where he wants to go, and like we all have this behind the scenes vision, but we don't always like get to voice that out into the ether. So like, you want to voice that out into the ether?
Yeah. So the goal with Knifelighter is probably what I would say anybody else's goal with a band is. You know, we want to travel all over the place, spread the message that we have. Let people know that they're not alone in their struggles and stuff like that. I mean, it's always what I wanted to do. I just love playing music for people, and I love watching people punch each other to my music. That's like,
oh yeah, great. I can only imagine.
Our first show had 3 fights in the whole set, and we played a 20-minute set, and I was like, this is good. This was a good first set.
See, that's the other thing that I always wanted to have a conversation or an interview, like a post-fight interview. Okay, so how did this get started? And then just them like trying to break down. All right, well, that guy had 2 patches on his vest that I didn't like, and I was gunning for him because he was being aggressive in the opener.
Yeah, I think there's
a market crowd killing.
Yeah,
I think there's a market in those interviews. You should do it.
Well, not me. I see. Here's the conversation that I would like to have with you. So, are you into Turnstile?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I was more along the lines of their older stuff, but their new stuff is still good to me.
Same. I mean, the new stuff's good, but their old stuff is.
I like the light they're bringing to the underground music scene. Like they were on Jimmy Kimmel, and like they're getting a lot of cool stuff done for them.
They're playing Coachella.
Yeah, they're playing Coachella.
Crazy. Yeah.
So I feel the same way. Like I did used to listen to their old music, and like Two Step or whatever that like number 7 or number 5 song that on that Green and Black album that's just them like moshing on their album
Heavy,
cover.
Yeah.
I connected with that stuff, but like just front to back album wise, like it's up there.
It's up there for sure.
So
Oh yeah.
in that same vein of like respecting, appreciating other bands in the industry and the genre, like, is it hard to like not creatively like try to do something in that style? Like, I feel like you listen to some like, excuse mainstream bands, and like, I'm not saying you're mainstream, but like, or like pushing that because that can be seen as heresy to some conversations.
Yeah.
But is it difficult to not just like steal somebody's like vibe, or like, I want to do a song in that style, and it's like, okay, I've done something and I feel like I can't release this now because it's too similar?
Yeah, we haven't really experienced anything along those lines yet, but I mean, I can understand where you'd be coming from with that.
I don't know, because that's the embodiment of the music that I feel like I would listen to is like their new album. Yeah, there's some songs where it's like, this probably didn't need to make the cut, but like, I mean, Being Is the Ocean was from back in the day. And then
man.
I don't know if you ever listen to Secret Keeper, but I got into their stuff for a little bit because it's all that melodic, like more shouting.
Yep.
Because it's an extreme talent, and I feel like you're more talented for doing those low, like, I don't even know what they're saying. Like it's hurtful to the ears.
Yeah.
Those people have such talent, because that gravel and green that you got to put in there is such talent.
I don't know
I'm
how
sorry.
some of these vocalists make these noises with their mouths. It's crazy to me.
I'm here for it. Like,
Yeah, I'm loving every minute of it, but I don't know. Like I don't even know how our vocalist does it, but it's cool.
Now there's some nasty portions there. It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know how you're doing that, but do it.
I think it was like the first song.
That was like us in the studio. He'd be in the booth and he'd do this noise, and like, he's never done that before.
Where did this come from?
There was some portion in the first song where it was just like a minute of like, all right, this is like, I'm steady vibing to this. And then it just like, he just started out of nowhere, like intense screaming, and just like that look around that you have, like no one else is hearing this, but like
this is me?
I'm hearing this. It immediately puts you in the venue.
Oh yeah. Kind of to piggyback off of your last question though, like, are there any bands that you would say are your biggest like influences for Knifelighter? Like some bands that you look to as like kind of an inspiration for what you guys are doing?
Like for me, there's just so many. Like I've been listening to like metalcore and like hardcore. I've been listening to everything for years and years and years. But like my bigger influences lately, I would say probably were like bands like Victims and like The Last 10 Seconds of Life, and they like some like we're getting into a little bit more of the beatdown realm with this new stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I texted Tyler. I was like, "This is some beatdown shit, and I'm here for it." Like as soon as I started listening to it, I was like, "This is good." I'm really mad they took there's that Last 10 Seconds of Life album that's no longer on Spotify with the red skeleton in the desert, and that was like, dude.
Yeah, because they technically don't own that album.
Yeah.
What?
But dude,
is it like a Taylor Swift thing
influences.
where she doesn't own the originals?
Yeah, they don't own the original of that album, so the license ran out, and the guy that doesn't want to give it to him.
Yeah,
and I think that's why like 4 of the members left.
Yeah, they're no longer a band anymore.
Last 10 Seconds of Life, right? I think, is pretty much done. The guitarist is the only one that was left.
Sucks,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
Especially after they dropped that Fire last album too.
Right? Like for that to be the next news that comes out, it was like, come on, guys.
Blew my mind. I was like, what just happened? I just saw you on tour.
That was like I saw Currents like right before, I think it was their drummer left, and it was like, dude.
Yeah.
Like, them, and I think Fit for a King lost a guitarist same show. Like I saw them both, and then they were immediately like not the same band anymore. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
like,
once Fit for a King's guitarist left, it was just different.
Different. Yeah, very different.
But I think he's back now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly started getting into more of like beatdown and into the deathcore and all that, so I'm not really into that realm anymore as much as I probably should be. But you know how it goes. You kind of go in your waves.
Yeah, you go in through little different spaces of like, I like the heavier stuff this time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every once in a while, I'm like, pop punk boy. Like,
yeah, right. Oh, today's a pop punk day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Only for the visual listeners,
right?
Sorry, I was doing research real quick because you guys like tangented my brain into something and you guys were doing stuff. So, every time I die, thoughts,
Yeah.
opinions.
That news blew my mind too, man. Like, because I loved them. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
But like, and then like all this like weird stuff kept coming out about the vocalist, and I was like, it's the internet. I don't want to believe all the crap I'm reading. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah,
Right.
we all quit, and he's by himself. And then they just break up.
Cool.
I'm like,
Yeah.
cool.
Here's your fun fact of this episode. Andy Williams, the musician that's in the band, he's also a professional wrestler.
Yeah, he wrestles for AEW. Yeah, my wife and I watch it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the conversation we should have been having. Did you watch Revolution?
No, I missed it because I was out of money. Yeah, the musician life.
Boy.
Yeah.
Woo.
But I did see the highlights. So
See, that's the thing. I agree. I was 50-50 on am I going to spend this $50 or not? But every time I do that to like, am I going to pay for this pay-per-view? It's worth the money.
Great. Yeah.
But then it's like after the fact, when I'm scrolling through Twitter, it's like, man, I could have just watched this on Twitter.
Right. Everyone's like, reacting live. I could have just paid attention on the internet.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, man. Like seeing it front to back, like it was good. There were some portions that like, man, I'm sure you said you saw it on the internet.
Yeah.
But I'm super invested into Hook.
Oh my God, love him.
So, okay, next question. Love that. Do you want to make Aleister Black's like entrance music or like a wrestler like that? That actually,
I would
like,
honestly love to do that. Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
That
is
would
like
be
sending
fantastic.
that guy like, because your music would mesh with like a decent portion of people. I mean,
That would be badass too.
Yeah.
Like,
That would
yeah.
be so awesome. Yeah, but like, because like freaking when Aleister Black did it the first time, freaking Code Orange got to play live at NXT.
Yeah, that
it was
whack.
awesome.
That was whack. I think Nick actually watched that one with me.
Yeah, Code Orange is one of my favorites.
Oh,
like,
they're so
for
good.
Sure. Oh, they're so good. Yeah.
The one song on the Turnstile album I'm not a fan of. That was wonderful. Nick, do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
I mean, I would love to have you back on to talk about wrestling in the future. Like, I didn't
absolutely.
even know.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dope.
Look it. We're gonna
Let's make it happen.
6 weeks from now, we'll talk to you about wrestling.
Okay.
Or after All In or whatever the pay-per-view is. We'll know that we gotta to report on that.
Yeah. Yep.
Heck yeah, man.
That was there are like literally 100 of just like I should ask this wrestling question. Whew. But you gotta warn the listener like, hey, this is a wrestling conversation.
Yeah.
Because I hear complaints mainly from my brother.
That's okay.
I made him he has not watched wrestling since like Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, like The Rock 2003
the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for him to like watch this like 19 years later, like after that whole generation, just like I know he didn't enjoy it, but he was just watching it for me. And like that's unfortunate because I wished he had enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
But
to each their own.
anyways, I'm done with the 100 wrestling tangents. So again, Curtis is playing with his band Knifelighter April 3rd with Distinguisher at the Haven. I assume because I believe, tell me if I'm wrong because I'm probably wrong, on Facebook, ticket links to this.
Yeah, there is ticket links to that.
Okay, cool.
Because sometimes I see something and then I'm like, was that? Yeah.
Yeah, we have ticket links posted on our page and the event page as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. It was awesome.
See you next time.
It was awesome. Yep. Can't